Hey.
Hi.
It's Tash and Carly.
And you're listening to Motherhood.
Not as we planned.
So get comfy, grab a cup of tea.
Or a glass of wine, and let's start talking about all the things too many of us avoid discussing.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week. Should we have a catch up?
Yes, but actually, before we have a catch up, there's something that we wanted to say at the beginning of an episode. Anyone that is either listening to this for the first time or you are a regular and you love listening every week, we need to ask for a favour.
Massive favour.
We want you to either, if you're listening to this on Spotify, please go and follow, review. If it's on Apple, make sure you subscribe, leave a review. YouTube, subscribe. We want to get our listeners up. We want to get people to tag us on Instagram, share it. The more people that we have listening, I think the goal now is, especially getting that little taster for that event, is being able to go further up north, further afield, doing more events, meeting more people, and just spreading the word and helping others feel not so alone with what they're going through. So thank you. That is a favour that we would love to ask you. So reviews, share, follow, subscribe. And now let's get on to this week's I'm Sick.
Guys, just quickly on that, if you're listening to this and thinking, I really needed to hear that, or that made me laugh, go and write it on a review. Like, right, Tash and Carly are freaking hilarious, you know? Right, you know, like they've given me hope when I'm going through a hard time. I can't tell you how much, like, 2 minutes of your time helps us so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Catch up.
So I actually had some experience with sperm on my face this week. Not the type of sperm you're thinking of, salmon sperm.
Hello.
Had it injected under my arm, polynucleotides. For anyone that doesn't understand what that is, basically, I think it's done in different ways, but I had cannulas. I know.
Did it hurt?
Can you see the bruising?
Really?
I actually didn't bruise, really, maybe slightly swollen. Did it hurt? Do you know what it felt like? It felt like someone had put a needle in my face with a thread. I was just tugging on it.
Maybe the tummy gave funny.
So anyway, what they do is they inject the salmon sperm, into different areas under the eyes. And what it's meant to do, it's not filler. It makes you produce more of your own collagen.
Right.
And what it's meant to do is brighten up under your eyes and just fill it up ever so slightly. Like you're going to produce your... So it's actually how your...
Right. As opposed to like, it doesn't just sit there and...
So it won't go lumpy, it won't change the shape of my face. It's hopefully going to brighten it, but it does take a few weeks and then you have to have a top up after 3 weeks. So
keep you
updated with my sperm journey.
Any other dating stuff this week?
Oh, no, I'm off.
Okay, this week it's off. Next week, guys.
So no, do you know what? I can't remember what I have and haven't shared because obviously like we had our podcast event and we didn't like do much of an update, but just trying to be as transparent as possible without oversharing too much or allowing it to kind of like consume me. Having had that week where I was in bed ill and I had a lot of time to think, I feel like my thoughts literally took a mind of their own and I fell into a bit of a like dark place of overthinking and grief that I don't think I've really experienced in my breakup yet, or even in my divorce. Like genuinely, I don't ever think I've been like, obviously I was so bad with my divorce, but it was a different type of
it's
because it was like family breakdown and becoming a single parent.
It's grief for different aspects. Yeah,
this is like heartbreak grief. It's definitely something that I am struggling with. So I don't know. I just want to let anyone know that is maybe in that kind of like pit of despair at the moment. I think you just need to be kind to yourself and try and do like simple things. Like I've just tried to keep a structure as best as I can and literally just put one foot in front of the other. And it's the small wins. It's having an evening at home and being like, oh, I haven't cried tonight. And it's shit and it's just the journey that I'm on and I have my good moments, I have my bad moments. It is coming up, weirdly, 4 months since we broke up.
Oh God, where's that gone?
But only like nearly 2 months of no contact. So look, I think for me it's also that that long period of time where we haven't spoken, where I know how I feel, I don't know how he feels. You start kind of like making up scenarios in your head.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I can only know what's going on with me. I'm not great, but it's a journey, and hopefully eventually
It will
get better. So yeah, over to you, babe.
I've been a bit all over the place the last few weeks. Obviously, I shared in the live episode that we'd gone through some transitions with the kids meeting the other woman.
Yeah.
Which was really difficult. And I think it's actually, do you know what? And I don't want to be negative, but I feel like I thought the initial meeting of it would be the hardest bit, and then it would be over. And I have to be honest, it's not. It's knowing that each week they're probably getting to know her more or getting more comfortable. And actually, I'm finding that harder.
I understand.
It's the building of a relationship, and it's not that I want my kids to be unhappy when they're there. Of course not. But I feel like, I don't know, it's taken me a while to process, and it does make me feel uncomfortable and unsettled. But one thing I have noticed is whilst my boys seem okay with the changes, I feel like they have become extra attached to me when they're back here, which, look, I'm not complaining about, but they are literally both on top of me. They both want cuddles. They're very cute. I feel like Theo in particular is very aware of how things might make me feel. And he's been going like, you'll always be my favourite girl in the whole wide world. Like, you're the most beautiful girl I know. Just things like that. And I feel like he's given me like the affirmations that I need. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I feel like just mentally I've been a bit there, and so really well timed. I actually went for a spa weekend this weekend, which honestly I just needed. I feel like as well, often when I go away with my boyfriend, we're so busy, like we're literally like up in the morning, was doing this, like squeezing everything in. It was nice to just be and relax. So yeah, it was really nice. But I think I'm just learning. I've been a bit better in terms of focusing on what I control, and this week as well, just something I've been really focusing on is holding boundaries with things. And yeah, it's really empowering to know I've always been a bit of a walkover, a bit of a people pleaser. And I think just this week, I don't know, sometimes you reach a point where you're like, enough is enough, I'm holding my boundaries, and it's felt really positive. So
yeah, good for you. And I think obviously I haven't gone through it yet, but I can really appreciate that actually it's almost one of those things that gets worse before it gets better. Yeah. Because it is that constant, that they're building a relationship, and you're a bit like, oh shit, this is
I
like.
I feel like they seem to have this like loyalty towards me, where they initially, when they met her, they'd come back and like say, oh, not really speaking much about her, but just like she was that we did this all together. And I feel like now they're hesitant to like even mention her. And it's not, I've never said anything bad, like. And I think that's also a hard part we don't speak about, is like
holding back on the comments.
I've not said anything, and actually when they initially came back, I'd be like, oh, how lovely. And I'd like, so before it all happened and there was talk of it happening, Theo was really worried, and I would say, I'm sure blah blah is so lovely, like you're gonna have so much fun. And I don't think my kids will ever know how much that hurt me to say that.
I can resonate with that so much, because I feel that way when I used to talk about their dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to bite your tongue. Oh, really? You want to be like,
same with
dad. He did that? Well, actually, if you want to know, he's a fucking prick. But obviously, you're not going to say it.
It's like when, like, and often at the moment, and they say, what are we doing this weekend? Going to daddy's, and they I don't want to go to daddy's. I want to stay with you. And again, as much as it pains me, I'm like, you were going to have the most amazing time at daddy's. And I think when they're older, they'll appreciate like the faces we put on for them and things. Like for me, sitting there saying her name, saying you're going to have so much fun, honestly, inside, it's like a knife going further and further in, and it makes me feel physically ill, but you do it. But I feel like they must have, I've never said anything, I've never badmouthed her, nothing. All that.
Kids pick things
they know, but they won't talk about her now.
Really?
I'll ask about things. I'll be like, oh, like, what did you do at daddy's? And they're really careful. They don't.
Do you know what's really interesting in regards to that? It's very interesting, and your kids are obviously like really switched on and like sensitive to that. Do you know what's very funny? The opposite with my kids is, I kid you not, the last 2 weeks, I have been on the floor about my ex. They have not stopped talking about him.
God.
And I'm
Read the room, guys.
I'm like, honestly, like, I'll put Rome into his car and he'll be like, he'll say his name. He'll be like, blah, blah, put me to bed last night. I'm like, but he didn't. Like, I was with you. Like, but he doesn't understand the concept at times. So like last night to him could mean a year 100%. Ago, and he'll be like, oh my God, it was actually terrible. I took the kids to the farm the other day and we saw some alpacas and they were his favourite animal. And Blake out of nowhere was like, oh, alpacas. Oh, that's blah blah's favourite animal. I miss him. Is he dead? And I just was like, you know how kids just come out with things?
Yeah.
There's just no filter. And I was actually just like, in my head, I thought maybe it's best that I say he is. But obviously I was like, no, like, remember Mummy explained to you, like, he's really busy with work and he's moved a bit. I've told them he's moved a bit further away because I don't want them thinking that he doesn't want to see them anymore. They don't ever show any upset. They just talk about him a lot, but I feel like it seems to be more when I'm really down that they seem to talk about him. It's like, guys, come on.
Can we see what's happening right now, guys? But yeah, my kids are, but they always have been. Like, I've always said, like, Theo is very, like, almost like too mature in terms of emotionally. Like, he's very aware of other people's emotions.
Yes.
He just feels everything deeply. And I think we're very similar. Like, I'm a massive empath, but like when I feel sad, I feel really sad. When I feel happy, I feel really happy. Just when I'm in love, like I'm a massive empath, and he's definitely got that from me. But yeah, I guess I'll obviously keep you guys updated. It's a journey, isn't it? It's not something that I'll just wake up one day and be okay with. But I guess it's a new kind of getting used to, and it's hard and it's crap and it's not where I thought I'd be. And I think that's also made us where, so obviously, like, me and my boyfriend are coming up to being together a year, and we've held off on the kids, and we were going to do it soon. And then, I don't know, just with everything with the kids going through that, and whilst, yes, they're not like displaying any signs of distress, whatever, I don't want to throw more big changes, and we're not in a rush, you know. And I think actually, like, it's beneficial for us to focus just on us and making sure we're super strong in our relationship before the kids come in. And like, I love that we're both on the same page, that the kids' well-being and, you know, they are always our priority with things. And at the end of the day, we love each other and we know that's going to happen for us. What's the rush? Like, there is no rush. So we've just taken a couple of steps back with that at the moment.
Okay, should we go into some emails?
Let's see some emails.
Let's do it.
Do it good, do it earn it. This shit is like you should mind it. My back, lit my, and my.
Okay, let's go with this one. Relationship story. Hi ladies, I don't have kids, but I'm going through the breakup of my 16-year relationship with my husband, and I'm finding so much comfort in your podcast. We've been together since I was 15 and married for 2.5 years. I find it really hard to relate to and almost get triggered by listening to a lot of other podcasts out there talking about heartbreak, as they all seem to be a much shorter term relationship. We were having a disagreement after my husband rejected my attempt to initiate sex. I mean, I've got to be honest, like, that's a real, like...
It is. It's ego damaging.
Yeah, it is. And then I think also, especially, I don't know why, I could be wrong, and by all means, anyone correct me if there's any male listeners, but I think there's something a bit different to a man turning down sex than a woman turning down sex. I feel like women, especially, like, if they're coming on their period, or they're hormonal, or they're not feeling very sexy, I feel like men generally always want sex. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more rare for a man to turn it down than a woman. I think you always hear like the women. Like,
I've heard that in general. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
I asked him if he still wanted this life, and he said, "No, I don't think I do." I was seeking reassurance and ended up being totally and completely blindsided. The last thing he had done before saying this was pulling me in closer to him, kissing me on the forehead. He was my very best friend in the whole wide world, and I did not see this coming in a million years. He told me he didn't love me anymore, wasn't attracted to me. What? Can I say something? There's being honest, and then there's just being upfront fucking idiotic.
I've had that.
But why do you need to say that? Like,
And I will say as well,
damaging.
like from personal experience, things like being rejected, things like being told they're not attracted to you, that stays with you. And it's really, really hard to move on from that, even when you're then in a new relationship.
Yeah.
For some reason, you end up believing these things about yourself.
Oh, it makes me so angry. Like, that man loved her at one point.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, okay. And that he just saw me as a friend and had been feeling this way for months, despite still telling me he loved me every
That's
day.
communication, hon.
He later told me, when you say something for long enough, it just becomes a
Oh,
habit.
fuck off. No, that fucks me off. Fuck off. Well, it's a habit, so that's okay to just carry on saying it.
We even went on a date to the restaurant we got married in 3 nights before the breakup happened. Everything was completely normal in our relationship. We were days away from starting to build our dream home and had been talking about starting a family this year. He then proceeded to keep me on the hook for 3 weeks while he decided what he wanted. This guy is a complete and utter a-hole, and here's my red flag to represent him.
And his asshole.
I suspect he's gotten some attention from someone that he works with.
Another one.
And had at least an emotional affair, but I have no confirmation of this. It doesn't change the outcome for me, but I find myself hoping that if that's the case, she's going to fuck him over at some point down the line. Almost 3 months out, I'm starting to see that I ignored some pretty big red flags early on. Do you know what's quite interesting? I feel like whenever we speak to anyone or we have people email in and it's like, it blindsided me, I never knew it was coming. On reflection,
100%.
it is fact, and I'm telling you now that this is fact. If you were listening to this and you were going through a new breakup, or your relationship is about to break down, or you feel like something suddenly out of nowhere hit you and things have gone wrong, no one that is your soulmate or you're meant to be with will ever leave you. A relationship is never going to end if it is perfect. Once you start reflecting and looking back on that relationship, you will realise that there are things that were not right, were not okay.
100% agree. And you don't know because you're not looking for those things when you're in that relationship. And I think that's what 100% what happened with me. I was like, it knocked me and I was like, well, what the hell? And then actually when I sat down and started doing the work, I was like, what have you been doing? What have you been looking at? Like, Delulu.
I know. We had a short-lived breakup about 3 years in. He had gone out clubbing. I wasn't of legal drinking age yet. One night, then he dumped me the next day without explanation. I've always assumed that he cheated on me, but it was never something he admitted to. From then on, I never trusted him to go on a night out with his mates. And every single time he went out for the next 13 years, I worried he was going to cheat on me. Something I now know isn't normal. Got to be honest, I really resonate with that. Like, I sadly don't think I ever trusted my ex-husband. And I thought I used to convince myself that was normal. I used to say, you should never trust anyone 100%, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but how I used to convince myself that it was okay and normal to not trust my partner isn't how I'd ever want to be. Like, I wasn't like that in my next relationship, and I wouldn't ever be like that again.
It's like what we say, isn't it? Trusting someone is a bare minimum in a relationship.
Yeah. He always had his phone with him or left it laying face down.
Oh, crying out loud.
Yeah. A regular issue in our relationship was that he didn't make me feel loved and only made effort to show affection if I called him out on it or if he wanted to have sex. Not once in 16 years did he ever tell me I was beautiful.
Oh, stop.
I think I had the same.
Yeah, actually, I never got told I was beautiful.
I don't think I ever received compliments. I actually think I received more compliments from a guy that I met for the first 10 minutes than I did in 17 years. Sad.
Yeah, I didn't get any compliments ever.
No. We're 52 days into no contact, fucking smashing it back.
Yeah, she didn't go no contact.
Yeah.
Gel.
Or not. And it's been the absolute hardest 52 days of my life. I don't want to get upset.
Move. Breathe. Breathe.
Sorry.
Take time.
Might need to finish it. Yeah.
We're 52 days into no contact, and it's been the absolute hardest 52 days of my life. I'm so hopeful for the future and that I will find a new man to share my life with and to have a family with, but I'm also terrified that I won't find someone else and I'll end up alone. I'm fine with my solo life the way it is now, but it's not what I want long term. I also think when you're in these situations, you can't see how you'll ever meet someone again. You think, I don't know, particularly like you're still very, very early on, like you don't see how there are any decent men out there. Like you think no one's going to love you. And I think where you've been made to feel unbeautiful for so long, you think, how would anyone ever look at me and think I'm beautiful or think I'm amazing or think I'm worth spending their life with? But the fact of the matter is you are, and you absolutely will. And there is someone so much more suited to you, someone who will be your life partner, someone who is your soulmate. And I think you just need to trust in the timing of the universe sometimes. I feel so incredibly angry with him and I hate him. Not because he broke up with me. He shouldn't have to be miserable living a life with someone he doesn't want to be with. But because he said nothing, made no effort to improve or change anything and dealt with things in such a cowardly way. I agree. It's that respect, isn't it? Of like working on a relationship doesn't just work. It doesn't just happen. It takes two people putting in the work. And if you're not communicating and doing that as a team, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just feeling that disrespect. He is a complete stranger to me now. The man I shared half of my life with is gone and it's completely devastating. Anyway, love the podcast.
Look, the going no contact, I think it's from going to like best friends, being with that person being, you know, your person for everything, your go-to becoming a stranger, like is the hardest thing I've personally had to experience. And I don't want to be hypocritical and sit there being like, it's going to get easier, like you're going to be fine. Like it will, but right now, like I'm where you are. So, you know, I need to take my own advice, and you need to understand that if that relationship hasn't worked out, there is reason for that and you will find someone better. I completely resonate when you're saying like you don't mind being on your own, but that's not what you really want. At the end of the day, as humans, we are designed for connection and to be with someone. And I think it's natural to want to be with someone and have that connection, do your healing, do your work, and you will get that again. And I think that you just gotta eventually believe it. And that's maybe where I'm at, where I'm struggling. I think it's so normal when you go through a breakup to be that fearful that you're never going to find someone again.
Of course.
But yeah, thank you for sending it in. And it's really nice to hear that we have people that listen that like aren't even mums. Like, you know, heartbreak is heartbreak, whether you're a mum or you're not. So we really hope that you listening helps. And yeah, 52 days, no contact. You're fucking smashing it. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, this one, guys, is called Healing a Broken Heart. Firstly, I just want to say how much your podcast and your socials are helping me mentally, as I have recently become a single mum after 11 years together. Our relationship started breaking down after we took on too much. He was working 6 to 7 days a week and I was at home with my son. At the time, I felt resentful, as all I could see was him working every day to meet deadlines and the pressure from managers at work, whilst I'm working part-time, looking after our son and studying at university. We never communicated at the time. Our relationship got mundane, and this led to him going on his work Christmas party and sleeping with
another one.
Work colleague. Shock, another one. Because he wasn't getting it at home.
If you're not getting it at home, why can't you just make a move at home? Why do you need to make a move at fucking work? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Make the effort. Make the fucking effort to make your wife or your partner feel sexy, feel loved, feel beautiful. And then they're probably going to want to have sex with you more. After talking things through. It's not the only thing hitting your face this way.
You fucking hit by a red flag.
Story of your life. After talking things through and decided to try for the sake of our family, we gave our relationship another go. This lasted months and then things fizzled out. Work became stressful again, university became harder, and I struggled to juggle everything. We mutually decided to end things, but the same night we discussed this and what to do going forward, he started messaging the work colleague.
Let's be honest, it probably never stopped.
Telling her he was recently single, literally half an hour, and arranged to meet up with her.
Recently single.
Recently single, babe. Oh, still here.
Half an hour.
Oh, honestly, like they just can't wait. I became obsessive, checking where he was on Find My Phone, syncing his messages to my laptop.
I mean, you're lucky he still had his Find His Friends on. I found that my ex got a different type of phone, so I couldn't understand how this fucking worked. Babe, if they've got a Samsung,
Red flag. I don't think I've ever done the Find My Phone, but to when we initially broke up and like he left, his iPad, his AirPods.
I knew you were going to say that.
His AirPods were still linked to my Find My, and I literally was like watching him go to places. He'd tell me he was somewhere.
I remember
somewhere completely different. I'm like, okay,
cool hunt.
Okay. I became obsessive, checking where he was on Find My Phone, syncing his messages to my laptop, but feeling sick to my stomach when I seen them planning to meet up in hotels. He said he was going to a job, but he was meeting her, sleeping together, and then coming home as if nothing had happened.
Oh, I'd have to turn up.
Yeah.
That does.
I would not have the balls.
I would.
Yeah, you would.
I would fucking rock up and fucking go guns blazing.
Would you?
Yeah, it would give me fucking life.
So toxic, I know it.
It would absolutely.
I just wouldn't.
If I had a time and fucking location, oh my God, I'd get the camera out and all.
You're
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's so fucking fine.
She's got therapy after this.
Honey, yes, it helps.
Unhinged. The constant lies were killing me. We own the house and I wasn't in the position to leave as I don't have my parents and I'm a full-time student with no income other than student finance, which is minimum. I've been living in this situation for 9 months and it's breaking me. I recently had a discussion about selling the house, getting it valued so I can move out and start to move on and work on myself again. He agreed and was telling me what I wanted to hear, telling me that he would support me and our son financially. He never wants to see me without, wants the best for me, and that I will always be part of their family as his parents love me like their own. I thought he was finally changing. Until recently, I seen a message on his phone from another
one.
work colleague.
Stop it. You mean another one?
And another one.
Another one. Oh my God.
Different to the one from the Christmas party. About how much she enjoyed Friday night and can't wait to do it again.
Speechless. And that takes a lot.
I felt sick. All we've done is argue about this, and I feel like do you know what? To a degree, I feel like it's better.
I was about to say, like, wouldn't you be slightly happy that, like, is he cheating on the other one with the other one?
Yeah. Yeah. It does make you feel better when you realise they still do the same thing.
Yeah.
Look, leopards don't change their spots overnight, babe. Let's be honest. I felt sick. All we've done is argue about this, and I feel like my feelings are invalid because we're not together. He can do what he wants and see who he wants, but it is the fact he is doing this whilst we're still living together and trying to navigate a way out of this shitstorm of a situation. Am I wrong for feeling like this? I don't know what to do and feel like I'm stuck in a rut. My mental health is at an all-time low, and I've had some scarily dark thoughts this week because I feel so unhappy. I just want to feel loved and be genuinely happy. I don't recognise or love the person I have become. Thanks again for your weekly advice and support. Keep doing what you're doing, girls.
Look, how you're feeling is so valid. Like, at the end of the day, like, you know, sorry if it seems insensitive. We can sit here and be like, oh my God, like, I'd actually be quite happy that there's another one. But you're in it right now and you still love him. Us being on the outside looking in, we're like, oh my God, what a waste of space. What a prick. Like, you can do so much better. You will get there. that dark place, it's not permanent. That feeling is not permanent for anyone, and you are no different. Like,
you need to focus right now whilst you're in that dark place on all the positive things that you do have. And I know that might be harder to pick out right now, but I promise there are a lot. And I know right now it's tough in terms of finances and not really seeing like there's a way out. But if you can just focus on those little glimmers, I think people call them, those little things in your day. Like for me, I remember in those really, really dark days, and I completely empathize how you're feeling, because I hit some places I have never, ever been in before, like thoughts and feelings that were just horrific. And my kids' laughter, my kids' cuddles, my kids' kisses, or looking at their little hands or whatever it was, were my things that pulled me through those days. And it is a case of taking it hour by hour right now. Feel the feels. Feel whatever you need to feel right now. And it's not wrong for feeling like that, because that's how you're feeling. I think you just need to fully embrace it, cry, scream, go punch something, like feel everything, write it down, get it out. You are entitled to feel like that, but it will get better and it will ease and it will pass.
I also think that while you're under the same roof, like use that to its advantage, and while he's there, go and meet friends. Like use the annoying man as free childcare. Go and meet a friend for a coffee, go for dinner, go for a walk now that it's still light until like 8 p.m. I've actually been told by my therapist, and I'm going to do this week, is write a list. And you don't have to do it in one go because it might take you some time, but write a list of 50 things that make you happy. It doesn't have to necessarily be something like, you know, a specific thing. It might even just be like, what smells make you happy? Like even just like the smell of a bakery, or like petrol. What songs that you hear on the radio make you happy? What sounds, your children laughing? What, you know, for me, like sunsets, like bring me joy. Write down those things that make you happy. I know when you're in a really dark place, it's hard to see. So even if you just try and find like 3 things a day, what brings you just a tiny little bit of joy, and hold on to those things, because right now your world is falling apart. But I promise you, there is lightness after that dark. Like it isn't permanent. So yeah, just you're doing really well. You've just got to ride the wave, unfortunately, and know that there is better out there for you. Like he's set the bar really, really low, and
not everyone's like that.
I mean, look, he's already pretty much gone and cheated on the person that he cheated on you with. So good luck to them.
Soon it'll be another one,
And another one.
and another one, and another one.
Okay. There's no subject to this one. Hi, Carly and Tash. I'm really looking forward to your event on Wednesday. So glad that you came. Hope you had fun. My friend is the one that recommended I listen to a podcast, as she found them extremely helpful going through her own breakup. And I'm so grateful she did. I found them so relatable with my journey to heal after a very extremely hard breakup. My very first and only breakup and heartbreak. As my husband and I were first loves, we got together when we were both 14. We were childhood high school sweethearts. We were only 16 when we had an unexpected surprise and had our first daughter, and then went on to have 2 more beautiful children together. We were together for 15 years before he finally asked me to marry him. We then married, and we were married for 5 years, so overall had 20 what I thought were wonderful years together. However, this sadly changed 6 months ago when he came home from work one evening and out of nowhere completely blindsided me and said he wasn't happy. He felt he was drifting. He was struggling with his mental health, so needed some space and a break from our relationship. I hate the word a break.
You're either in or you're out.
Do you know what I
mean?
mean?
You're out.
A break.
In or you're out.
You're not fucking time.
Let me just take a little step and then come back in. You're in or you're out, hon.
I respected his decision to leave and get the space he needed. However, after being away almost 3 months, a week before Christmas, I was informed by my nephew, who works with my husband, that he had heard rumours that the reason why my husband left was because he was having an affair with a just turned 21-year-old waitress.
Would you like some fries with that?
That also works with him.
Another one.
Another one. My husband is now 35 and our oldest daughter is 18. and he obviously denied it. So wow, there is a 3-year age difference between your daughter and your fucking mistress, you motherfucker.
Your daughter could have a boyfriend who's 21.
It's not even that. You could,
yeah, that's weird.
You could date
That's
your
weird.
daughter.
Don't
It
know.
could be a friend of your daughter. He obviously denied it. He claimed he'd only been texting her for a few weeks. Sorry, are you 21? Just texting her.
So Snapchat.
However, all his lies unravelled. Weeks later, he then left me for good to pursue a relationship with her. Do you think he's getting paid to babysit? Maybe he's helping her revise for her A-levels. They've been together ever since. There is a lot more to my story. However, that is the general gist and the briefest virgin. Virgin?
There's no virgins in this story.
Virgin. Thank you again. I have no words. The fact that this man has an 18-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old girlfriend, that in itself is so mortifyingly embarrassing.
He probably feels like the absolute nuts. He's like, look at me with this young bird.
But like, it's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. And it's probably embarrassing for their daughter.
Oh my God, I'm mortified for her. Listen, no situation is easy, but I'm telling you now, I'm going to try and paint you a different story, okay? You ready? What would you rather? I know no one wants their husband to leave them for anyone, but here we go, okay? Your husband leaves you for a 21-year-old who is an absolute child who, let's be honest, has no idea what they're doing, probably no life experience, and is a few years older than his daughter. Cool, really good potential. Or he meets a beautiful older woman, maybe has a few kids of her own, seems really respectful, headstrong, has her own career.
I don't know. I don't know what one I would.
I think I would rather be like, Lo, you do you, hon. Have fun with your 21-year-old child who's probably going to need help with weaning. And and you do you, and I'll find myself, and then I'll go and find a respectful man who doesn't go for children. And
I'm going to say something that you just might not agree on, but I don't think either of those situations are beneficial. At the end of the day, regardless of whether it's someone younger, someone more beautiful, someone more intelligent, someone this, when someone goes somewhere else, it leaves you feeling feeling like shit. I know you're trying to write. I know.
Maybe it didn't work.
I don't think it did.
No.
But I just think regardless, it could be any one of those things. It could be age. It could be whatever it is. It leaves you feeling not good enough. It leaves you feeling unworthy, unbeautiful, unlovable. I know all those feelings well. I think what you've got to remember is at the end of the day, he is not the person you thought he was, and you deserve a hell of a lot better. Let him go do his thing. Let him go and do and choose his next route. Let him go and figure out things himself. You don't need to waste your time or your emotional energy worrying about where he is, who he's with. You know he's with this girl. What you need to focus on is you, bettering yourself, healing yourself, going out doing things that make you feel good. And when you find your happiness, you'll get to a point where it's irrelevant who he's with. It's irrelevant who he's with now, who he was with. You won't care about that. That's where I'm at now. Like, I couldn't care less who my ex is with, he's in a relationship with now, because I'm happy in myself and content with myself, and that is my focus. And I think you will reach that point, but I think you have to rechannel your energy. Sorry to
I mean, no, like that was way more helpful. Look, to be honest, like what you just said there is pretty much how I feel about my ex-husband. Like, you no longer have like, and I know that you may not feel this quite yet, but I no longer have like hate or anger. I'm so indifferent that he could be with anyone. If you're talking about my ex-boyfriend, well, let's not even get there. But like, yeah, you're right. Once you get to such a good place, it doesn't matter what they're doing, who with, where. you now need to write your list, 25 benefits of not being with him, and start concentrating on that, and realise that obviously you both are very different people with very different morals, and your values don't align, and you have
the rest of your life ahead to be happy.
Yeah, look, it's a really long time that you were with him. I really understand being childhood sweethearts with someone, and you're now mourning the life that you're not going to have that you really thought you were. I was with my ex-husband from the age of 15. We were together for 17 years, and I cannot express to you how I genuinely never ever thought in a million years that I would be okay without him. And I'm so proud on reflection, looking back, especially now that I thought my worst nightmare would be him being with someone else. And from the moment he's been with someone else, it hasn't bothered me in the slightest. And it makes me so happy. And that it just shows what journey I've been on and how far I've come. And I promise you, I know that it's so easy for me to say, if I can do it, you guys can do it, because I genuinely thought he was my life, and he's not, and I don't care anymore. And yeah, I know it's really hard and it's shit, but
you'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, confession of the week.
It's quite a long one. It's a long one. Emailed it in.
Starts off, monkey.
Oh, monkey face.
Monkey face.
Over the eyes. Do we need a red flag over the eyes? Are we ever going to use the screen for
They don't exist. I'm joking. I was in a relationship for 12 years. Due to get married, things were not right for a long time. I told myself I had to because we had 2 children and my dad was coming from abroad to give me away. So I felt like I'd gone too far to back out. I went on my Hindu and we met another stag group and we all got talking, and one of them, I can honestly say, we spoke for hours. I knew there was something I had never felt before. The spark was instant. Oh, that's a bit red flaggy. Sorry.
Well, this is her confession of the week.
Okay, so I'm not judging.
No, at the end of the day, like, you can't help, like, just carry on.
Anyway, he was just coming out of a relationship. What do you mean just coming out? Are you out of a relationship?
No, she's on her hen. The guy that she was
just come out, or is he coming out? Is he ending it? What does that mean? That's do you know what I mean? You're either just come out of a relationship, or you're in it
coming out.
He's just coming out. That makes me feel like he said, like, oh, I'm gonna end it.
Yeah.
After that night, I got married 2 weeks later and could not stop thinking about who I had met. I ended my marriage after 2 weeks.
Stop it.
Oh my God, which was awful. I shouldn't have gone through with it, but hindsight is a wonderful thing.
I wonder if it was a good party.
I got back in touch with who I'd met and we started to talk more. We have now been together for 12 years. We have our
I'm not going to lie, I just got goosebumps.
Thing is, like, this is a massive case of never ignore the gut, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, she just shouldn't have gone through with the marriage.
No, and look, I'm not for a second saying that what she did was right, but it is, you got to have a lot of fucking balls to stop a wedding 2 weeks before. Everything's paid.
Even more balls to end a marriage after 2 weeks. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I'm in awe, and it's amazing you're together. I believe everything happens for a reason. I would never have been in the place I was if I wasn't on my Hindu, so we would never have met. My ex-husband is great friends with my current husband.
Stop it.
Despite how we met. I think he knew deep down we weren't right, but he was the same as me and didn't want to make the change. I can say myself that my husband and I were both in relationships where we have been taken for granted for a long time. We both make an effort to make sure we don't feel like that again. Not the best or the most conventional way to meet someone, but that's my story.
Look, do you know what? It's really controversial, but there's something about it that's really special.
I know what you mean.
Like, do you know what? And I think maybe it actually speaks volumes slightly that her ex-husband and her new husband are friends, because there was obviously some sort of like not agreement, that's not the word I'm looking for. Like they were obviously on the same page, that they were sort of like, they felt like they should get married.
And it's so nice that he's happy for you to be happy and be with someone like who obviously he knows it's more suited.
She said that they'd been together for a while and they got married because they had children. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess hindsight is a wonderful thing. And look, you got a happy ending.
Guys, this is just a sign never to ignore your gut.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks for sending all those in, guys. Should we end with a little affirmation of the week? Right, I'm just trying to think of some of the things that were shared and stuff. Let's try and remember that, okay, guys, we wouldn't have flowers without the rain. So sometimes it may feel like your darkest days when it's always pouring, but eventually...
April.
Yeah, like April showers. But eventually... the flowers continue to bloom
into something beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just making up this shit, but it sounds quite good. We're going for it. We're going for it. Guys, it has to rain for flowers to survive.
To grow.
And grow. I hope you enjoyed the episode.
She won't be writing the quotes on Instagram. I'll tell you that one.
I do sometimes. Hello, the one that we just did.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you. Thank you for all the follows and shares.
See you next week.
Mwah, bye.